What's up, guys? Today's lesson will reveal the dark truth behind this species, the bottlenose dolphin. It's not much though, it's gonna be a normal lesson other than that. Now let me first clarify something. A bottlenose dolphin is any species belonging to the genus Tursiops, but within this genus, there are only 3 species, meaning only 3 types of bottlenose dolphins. In this video, I'll only be covering the common bottlenose dolphin, which I'll be referring to as just the bottlenose dolphin from now on. But much of the info here can be applied to the other species too. Well, most of the info besides their geographic distribution. The bottlenose dolphin's scientific name is Tursiops truncatus. The genus Tursiops comes from the Latin word tursio, meaning dolphin or porpoise, and the species truncatus comes from the Latin word trunco, meaning truncated or shortened. For its common name, the bottlenose dolphin gets this name from its short, thick beak, resembling a glass bottle from back in the old days. It doesn't look as much like a glass bottle nowadays, but it's not like I have the power to change it. Or maybe I do. Yeah, I don't think so. The bottlenose dolphin can range from 6 to 13 feet long and can weigh from 300 to 1400 pounds, but it's usually around 8 feet long and 450 pounds, the much lower end of the weight range. In addition, males are bigger than females. As I mentioned earlier, the bottlenose dolphin has a short, thick beak, giving it its common name. There's also a very noticeable sharp crease between the dolphin's beak and forehead. Its body is also overall completely gray in some way. The upper body is a dark bluish gray to light gray, while the lower body is a lighter gray, completely white, or even pinkish. This is yet another example of countershading. I've talked about it before, but if you're new to the channel, it's a type of camouflage. Basically, top of body is darker and bottom of body is lighter, camouflaging a creature with the environment when seen from above or below respectively. However, bottlenose dolphins living in near-shore coastal waters are usually smaller and lighter in color than those offshore. Underneath the outer appearance of its skin is its blubber, which helps reduce heat loss, stores calories, and can even help with protection from predators because they have to bite through this layer before being able to reach a dolphin's vital organs. In fact, shark bite scars aren't that uncommon on wild bottlenose dolphins. I think of them as battle scars. I'd brag about that. The bottlenose dolphin has moderately long and pointed flippers, with a high and curved back dorsal fin with a slightly hooked tip. Its tail fin, also called its fluke, is broad, curved, and has a notch in the middle. The bottlenose dolphin uses its tail to propel itself through the water, reaching speeds up to 22 miles per hour and chill cruising speeds at around 5 miles per hour. To put that into comparison, its cruising speed is around the same speed as our fastest swimmers. We are not built for the water. I think thalassophobia folks are completely rational. You're telling me, if you're swimming in the open ocean, seeing nothing but a dark abyss under you isn't terrifying? I live aquatic life, but that doesn't mean I want to be in the ocean. Those two things do not correlate. Sorry, I went a bit off track. Now inside the bottlenose dolphin's beak are 18 to 26 pairs of sharp, cone-shaped teeth on both sides of its jaw, so a total of around 72 to 104 teeth. It only gets this one set of teeth for its entire life, so if it loses a tooth, that's it. It's down a tooth forever, not getting that back until its next life. And like the beluga whale, the bottlenose dolphin's neck is very flexible, since 5 of the 7 neck vertebrae aren't fused together like they are in other dolphins. The rounded forehead of the bottlenose dolphin is called the melon, which has an important role in echolocation. The dolphin actually engages with its environment through sound, using clicks, squeaks, and whistles to communicate with each other and find prey. The eyes on the sides of the bottlenose dolphin's head have glands secreting an oily, gel-like mucus that lubricates its eyes, washes away debris, and protects its eyes from tiny organisms. And just behind the eyes are its ears, which are tiny openings that are just barely noticeable. I don't know if I even say barely, they're basically unnoticeable. And finally, the bottlenose dolphin's blowhole above its head is covered by a muscular flap. It's not open 24/7. The flap acts as a watertight seal to prevent any invasive objects from entering. To open the blowhole, all the dolphin has to do is contract the muscular flap, letting it breathe when exposed outside of the water. Fun fact, when asleep, a bottlenose dolphin will keep one half of its brain awake and its respective eye open at a time to keep breathing. Tap! Pathetic creatures. Can't even keep their brains asleep and breathe at the same time. Losers. The bottlenose dolphin is found in all warm tropical and temperate waters in the world, being seen in a large variety of habitats, including harbors, bays, estuaries, near-shore coastal waters, and far offshore into the ocean. There have also been 2 identified ecotypes within the species, a coastal form and an offshore form. I actually mentioned the coastal form earlier, Those are the ones smaller and generally lighter in color. But overall, there appear to be differences in genetics, physiology, behaviors, and ecology. But the two forms don't seem to associate with each other though. In their habitats, bottlenose dolphins typically stay in shallower waters. Some groups of coastal dolphins will rarely dive further than 3 meters, but the deepest dive recorded for the species is 300 meters. This feat was done by Tuffy, a US Navy trained bottlenose dolphin. What is even the purpose of doing this? We've already got Navy SEALs. I don't think we need Navy dolphins. The bottlenose dolphin eats a variety of prey, including fish, squid, and crustaceans like crabs and shrimp. The type of prey available for the dolphins depends on where they live though. Coastal bottlenose dolphins tend to eat fishes and bottom-dwelling invertebrates, while offshore bottlenose dolphins tend to eat fishes including schooling fish as well as squid. Fun fact part 2. Bottlenose dolphins in Shark Bay, Australia have been seen ripping marine sponges from the seafloor and feeding them over their beaks, protecting their beaks from rocks and sharp coral on the seafloor while they look for food. This is one of the extremely few cases of tool use by cetaceans. They also have different techniques to hunt and capture prey. Some look for food by themselves, and some can look for food together as a group. Together, they can work to herd fish into groups and take turns swimming through the school of fish to feed. However, because of their peg-like teeth and weak chewing muscles, bottlenose dolphins have to swallow their prey whole, being able to eat about 32 pounds of fish per day. And now that's enough about the normal facts about these dolphins. This section is where I'll reveal their dark side. Bottlenose dolphins can travel alone or in groups of usually around 2 to 15 dolphins, called pods, which can often break apart and reform later. Males and females with young generally have separate pods though, males with other males, and females with young with other females with young. Males reach sexual maturity when they're 9 to 14 years old, and for females, it's when they're 5 to 13 years old. But when it's time to mate, that's when things can get bad. Male bottlenose dolphins are pretty ruthless when it comes to mating. Now, slight trigger warning for SA and abuse. I know they're just dolphins, but I think I'd rather be safe than sorry for anyone watching. Males can group together to form gangs and isolate and capture individual females from their pods. If the female doesn't want to mate, they may then try to coerce the female into mating by chasing, ramming into, biting, and tail striking the female. These aggressive behaviors can last for days and even weeks. But if mating successfully occurs, the female will be pregnant for about 12 months and give birth, usually occurring every 3 to 6 years. Once the baby is born, called a calf, the female will nurse it for about 20 months on average. The calf will also stay with its mother for 3 to 6 years, which is why females give birth in this range of time, since the mother and child usually separate when the next calf is born. But I'm not done with the dark facts yet though, because males also engage in infanticide, sometimes attacking and killing newborn calves of females they didn't mate with. This is because when the female loses her calf, she'll become fertile again after just a few months. If what I said earlier wasn't enough for you to hate these dolphins, surely this is. But I do have to make something clear. Despite being very smart animals, dolphins don't have morals or ethics like we do, so they don't have the concept of consent like us. Also, this behavior is something only seen in bottlenose dolphins, not all dolphins. Don't go generalizing it to all of them. Once the calf separates from its mother, it'll go on living its own life, whether alone or in a pod. Females can live to over 50 years old, and males can usually live to be around 40 to 45 years old. These dolphins are also known to play with other animals, and by play, I really mean use. A well-known example is how they play with pufferfish. Bottlenose dolphins can toss or pass around a pufferfish, which when stressed will release a neurotoxin. These dolphins don't really care though. They can actually intentionally ingest small doses of the toxin to essentially get high. Don't do drugs, kids. I sure won't. Nuh-uh. According to the IUCN Red List, the bottlenose dolphin is classified as a least concerned species. The threats they do face are pretty much all human-caused though, other than their main predators being sharks. Getting caught in fishing gear, like gill nets and trawls, is one big threat to these dolphins, called bycatch. In addition, bottlenose dolphins have been seen taking bait and catch from fishing gear and being fed by fishermen, which is illegal by the way, leading them to associate humans with food. That's not a good thing, just so you know. It means they'll become less wary of humans and change their natural feeding habits, then depending on us as a reliable source of food. A threat targeted more towards coastal bottlenose dolphins is habitat degradation or destruction due to contaminants and oil spills. For example, in areas with high levels of polychlorinated biphenyls, or PCBs, their immune systems can be very negatively affected. These contaminants also affect the prey they eat, leading to a buildup of a larger concentration of these toxins in the dolphins' bodies. And oil spills can lead to issues like an impaired stress response, lung disease, and reproductive failure. But anyway, that's about it for today's lesson. Subscribe for more fish facts, and I'll see you next time.